Welcome, and these are some common houseplants that I believe deserve a bit more love. Coming in at number 5 is a syngonium. I really like this plant because it has these beautiful heart-shaped leaves. On a lot of them, you can see the vein running through the plant, and I also like that there's a wide variety of these. I tend to find them. I found this at a supermarket. It's just been a really enjoyable, easygoing plant for me. I grow it in low light, and I definitely have some underwatering tendencies. This plant has definitely been thriving for me. It's been growing quite a bit since I've got it, and it's also a trailing plant. So you can see, if you look a bit closer, it doesn't just get bushy, but like for this one for example, it'll start trailing and it'll start being a plant that I can trail off one of my shelves or trail onto a wall. One of the coolest things about syngoniums is they're pretty inexpensive. So this one I got for $3.99 at a local nursery. Again, a pretty decent sized plant for less than the cost of a coffee. Next, I want to talk about a Monstera Adansonii. I have been so blessed with this plant. It is absolutely stunning. It is pretty common nowadays, but every leaf is so unique, so beautiful. Breathtaking fenestrations. And it's a very interesting plant, and it also, you can still buy one pretty inexpensively. It's also known as a Swiss cheese plant, and I've been growing this in a north-facing window, and all of this new growth has actually been like inside of a shelf, getting very minimal light. I also am an underwaterer, but it's been pretty kind to me for how big of a plant it is, and I've definitely missed several waterings with this plant. Plant is also a trailing plant, which you'll notice I really love my trailing plants. You can either grow it up a moss pole and mature the plant, which I'm testing out now, or you can put it on a shelf like I did. You can even grow it up a wall. There's many options and versatile styling options for this plant. I just think this is one of my most stunning plants, even though it's common, and I think it deserves a bit more love. In third place, I have the Maranta plant, also known as a pro plant, which I think is kind of cool. This is a beautiful and interesting looking plant. It has beautiful shaped leaves with very interesting patterns. It also has a bit of a splash of color with the red veins. I think I got this one for about $5 at a supermarket. It is stunning. It is easy to care for. I don't water it very much, and it's pretty forgiving. This is also a trailing plant, so eventually it will get big enough to start trailing, and I'll have beautiful Maranta leaves also going up my wall. This one definitely earns a spot to be a little bit more loved, even though it's a pretty common plant. In second place is this mini Monstera. This has super interesting leaves, very delicate, and it's literally like a mini Monstera. The reason why I really like this plant is also for the trailing reasons. There's some absolutely beautiful Pinterest pictures that I am inspiring to be someday with this plant, of this like growing up mirrors on bathrooms, growing up the wall. So my plan for this trailing plant is definitely to grow it up the wall. I'm just waiting and trying to hold myself back from propagating it so it can actually get larger. This is a pretty common plant. I have picked this up from the supermarket, although I was kind of keeping my eye open for it for a while. I think it's just such of an aesthetic plant that seems to be a fast grower. Another thing I really like about this plant is that the new leaves are this brighter green color, pretty distinguishable bright green color. So I've really been enjoying that because it kind of highlights the new growth for me. And one of my favorite things about plants isn't necessarily the cool colors, but it is the growth. I love watching things grow. That is definitely one of my favorite parts about plants, and I think that's why plants are so therapeutic for me. So although it might not be super rare, it might not have splashes of pink and yellow, I enjoy this because it grows for me and it's therapeutic watching something you take care of grow. So lastly, in first place, I have the pothos. This is definitely one of my favorite plants. If you've seen any of my videos, I've probably mentioned this plant. It is such a good plant. It's so easy. It's so nice, it's so forgiving. You can overwater this, underwater this, you can put it in low light, you can put it in high light, and this thing will probably grow for you. It's probably definitely one of the easiest plants you can have. It is a trailing plant, as you can see, so my favorite place for this is on a high shelf and it trails down my wall. Another reason why I really like this plant is it is incredibly easy to propagate. I quite literally put 2 leaves in a pot with dirt, put it in a Starbucks cup, and filled it probably up to here with water. This plant has grown 2 new leaves, and you can also see all of the roots that have formed. This is probably the easiest plant to propagate. I've propagated hundreds of these, quite literally hundreds of these. They come in many different kinds of varieties, so if you'd like to bundle some, pot those together. It's super easy, super nice plant that you can have so many of because they're just so nice and easy to take care of. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you are loved, and please subscribe and watch another one of my videos. Bye.